going to talk just for a minute about thread repair. Here what we've got is a flange that actually holds up the back plate to a Cat centrifugal water pump. And what happened was, taking the little bolts out of these little holes, they all came out except for one. One did not want to come out at all. And so what we ended up having to do was cut the head off of the bolt to be able to get the housing off, which left up just a little stud sticking out right there. And our first attempt to get that out was using a propane torch. And by using a propane torch, then we can go ahead and heat up the whole flange area around the bolt. And the idea is that we're going to, number one, break the rust free if there is rust. And number two, by heating the area around the bolt instead of the bolt itself, if we heat the area around the bolt, then we're actually going to expand all of this metal, make it swell a little bit, and loosen its grip actually on the bolt. So we tried that. We didn't have any success doing that. So the other idea was that we would go ahead and drill it out. We didn't have any success doing that because they're stainless steel bolts. This is kind of what the bolt looked like right there. Of course, we had cut the head off, so all that we were left with was just the bolt itself. So then, in that case, propane is kind of a good idea to keep in the back of your mind that propane is actually what we call a cold fire. So we had to step it up a notch, and we actually came over and got our torch. We're not going to cut anything. We're just going to use the temperature of the oxygen and acetylene, which is a lot hotter than propane, to be able to get a little bit more heat intensity. So when you're working with a hotter flame with the oxygen acetylene outfit as opposed to propane, with propane you can actually put the tip right down there close, and you can actually hold it there because it's a cold flame. It's not going to hurt anything. This is actually like a pot metal, an anodized aluminum, so it can't take a whole lot of heat. So when you're working with oxygen acetylene, because the temperatures are so much hotter, it's real important that instead of keeping the tip of the torch in one spot, that you keep it moving. Keep it moving, and you're heating an entire area as opposed to just holding it down, because what will happen is you'll melt this aluminum, and the aluminum then will melt onto the stud, and you'll never get it out, and then you're ruined. We've got to replace the flange. So keep in mind, keep it moving up and down all around. Doesn't take a lot. Now with the propane torch, you can keep it on here for 5-10 minutes. With an oxygen acetylene outfit, it'll only take a minute or two for this guy to get really hot. It won't change colors. It's not like it's going to glow red because it's aluminum. Had it been just a regular steel material, then it'll glow red. This won't do that. It'll go just from looking normal to all of a sudden just running into a puddle and just running away. So it's real fast. So heat the generalized area, and then go ahead and have your pair of pliers or your vice grips. I was using a pair of vice grips, and then I transitioned to a pair of pliers, and then you can grab a hold of the stud of that bolt and you can work it back and forth. I was able to get it turned about 2 or 3 revolutions before this entire metal area cooled down, and then I had to reheat it, and then once I reheated it, then I could go ahead and extract the bolt the rest of the way out. Left kind of some dirty threads. These threads are nice and clean. You can see how I've already chased the threads, and by chasing threads means that we take a tap and we put a tap down inside. This is all the other holes are dirty. So what we do is we take a tap that matches that size, and we go ahead and we just start threading that down in there, being very gently at first, not to cross thread. This will catch the first couple of 3 threads before it gets tight. And then we go ahead and we just spray some lubricant. It could be cutting oil. In this case, I'm using PB Blaster. And we just take, and instead of doing complete revolutions without stopping, we're doing about a half a revolution and then backing off. A half a more, and we're backing off. A half a more, and we're back, and we're going to do that all the way down in there. Now, you're going to feel some resistance, anywhere from gentle to moderate, and that's okay. We just don't want to break off the tap inside. If we break the tap off, and this is a pretty small tap, so it'll snap off pretty easy, then we're in big trouble. So what we want to do is just kind of not be lazy and not take forever, but we also kind of want to take our time too and not get in too big a hurry. Some guys will just take and they'll just wrap this really fast, and then the material that you're cleaning out of the threads had a tendency to go balled up inside, and you'll bust a housing or you'll bust the tap off. So what we do is we just kind of take and we do it fairly quickly, but not real fast, not real slow. supervisor can help you out with this if you have any questions about how that works. You'll get down to a certain point where you actually are able to get all the way through the flange, and then it'll free up on you, and then you're going to know you're all the way in. So that's what we're doing here. As we go ahead, there we go, see I felt that get loose, that's why I'm going without stopping. And we go ahead and I take this tap and I go all the way down to the bottom of the threads, and then I back it out, being careful as it starts to come out, it'll get really loose and kind of wobbly. So then I'm going to slow down my revolutions, and we're going to support the weight of the vice grip, support the weight of the tap until it comes all the way out. Now that it's all the way out, we can take our compressed air. We have safety glasses and we have our compressed air. We blow it out, and now you can see the nice new clean threads. Now that bolt threads in there really nice. If you have any questions, contact your supervisor, or you can see us on the web at www.aefresno.com.